Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be taking a look at Magic Square's fourth instalment in their masterpiece range. This is, of course, Munitioner, which is obviously a masterpiece scale swindle figure from Generation 1. So we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We're going to have a look at all the accessories that come with him. We are, of course, going to bring in his Generation 1 self, as well as bringing in some other figures, masterpiece and normal, just to give you an idea, I suppose, of how big he actually is. So as I start to move all these out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if I'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please. And also to remind anybody who does want this, there will be a direct link in the description to get one from ShowZine. If you're going to get one from there, guys, don't forget to use my code toysareruss, all one word. So yes, this is Magic Square's fourth installment of the masterpiece range, the second of the combaticons. The packaging, you can see, is beautiful. It's typical, what I would say typical masterpiece quality box. Nice sheen, nice and thick, nice and robust. And if you're wondering why it's not called Swindle, Magic Square are not licensed by Hasbro or Takara because they transform, so they can't use their proper names. Now you can tell that they already pretty much copy the grid. They also copy the tech spec. They copy pretty much everything, to be fair, and they even come in a huge plastic casing, which of course Hasbro products don't anymore. I think Takara's do, but Hasbro products don't. Right, let's have a look first and foremost at this. Now I'm just going to quickly explain. I'm not going to be doing the combined mode. I'm going to be saving all of that until I get them all to do it, but just to give you an idea, I suppose, of how big, in fact it's going to go around that way, of how big this is going to be. This is just part of the leg, and that is your MP44, so I haven't even got the main thigh, which will attach to this as well. So this is going to be a huge combiner. Right, let's move that out of the way. That's got some weight to it as well, by the way. So this is the alternate mode, and I know I've already not put that in correct. This would normally fit under the sides of there, but with this being such, I'm going to be polite about it, a bit of a pain to transform. It would just pop it all out, but just for the review purposes, you can still see it, and I'm pretty much, let's be honest, getting away with it. I've attached all the accessories, which I'm going to take off and show you in a second. I'm also going to show you that they also copy Takara by doing a collector's card, which again is what Japanese figures did not so long, well, in fact, starting in G1, to be honest. And there is also a different faceplate, which I will show you when we get to the robot mode. The instructions are reasonable, I'm pretty sure, guys, and this is where I'm going to ask for you guys for help, my third-party followers. I'm sure this is just an upscaled version of their legend scale figure. Please let me know in the comments if it is. I'm pretty sure it is, because the transformation process is a pain. There is your Earthrise Optimus, just to give you an idea. I don't have too many masterpiece figures left, in honesty, so I'm just going to give you a few mainline figures to give you an idea of the size. However, this I'm sure will surprise quite a lot of people. Where have I just put it? Yeah, this is one of the train bots, which means that they are completely, as you can see, out of scale. These other masterpiece companies seem to be making just huge figures, in honesty. I mean, absolutely huge. This is way bigger. I'm just looking around to see what else I've got to give people an idea of size of how big this particular figure is. So let's bring in G1 Swindle, which is very small compared to that. And of course, Magic Square go for cartoon accuracy as well, so it's not going to be the same as the toy. It's got the purple on the front to match his appearance in the cartoon. So this again does come off. You don't have to have it. That would, as I say, fit neatly underneath all there, and it would stay in place. These come off as well, because that can be held manually by the individual robot, which I'll be showing you in the other part of the video. And the tire comes off as well. It just holds it all in. The windscreen is like a frosted sort of glass, but it is sort of see-through. The wheels are all individually pinned. There's a bit of weight to this, because there's got to be some die cast around here. I'm sure there is, because of how much it weighs. The seats, they do move backwards and forwards a little bit, and so does the steering wheel. So I'm not too sure if you can actually put anybody in, because there's no room for the legs. But as you can see, it does look really good. Headlights as well. It's a really good alternate mode. It's just basic looking, because it's going for the cartoon look, which, let's be honest, it's definitely got. To be honest, guys, there isn't much more to say about this particular mode. Let's get him back in his robot mode, which is definitely the best version until we get all of them to do the full set combining. Let's have a look at him in that mode now. Okay, so we're back, and as you can see, we've got him in his robot mode. Apologies, no transformation process on this video. That is because I'm looking to upload it separately. But again, as I always do, moan about Magic Square figures, and unfortunately with this, because I'm pretty sure now, as I say, with that transformation process, it is just an upscaled version of the Legends figure. And that just means that the legs inside there are just, don't get me wrong, they're quite clever, but they're a bit of a mess. And as you're doing it, it just feels that you're going to snap it or break a pin or something. But again, I will do my very best to get a transformation tutorial up of this particular figure. Right, I've got the original Swindle there just to give you, I suppose, an idea of how big this particular figure is. Now, it's not as big as MP44, but of course you wouldn't expect him to be, because of course Optimus is a leader, but he's, you know, he's right up to about his chest. So I suppose that's something that you would sort of I suppose expect. With regards, I suppose, to some mainline figures, just to give you an idea, he's bigger than Commander class Optimus Prime, so that's something to be aware of as well. I'll bring some more figures in a second. I just want to show you a few of his things. First and foremost, there's his head sculpt, which is beautiful. It is very cartoon accurate, and you can also take the faceplate off like that, and then you can replace this. This just slots over. Ooh, let me just make sure that's going to go in and not come off anywhere. There you go, a little bit of force, and now he's got a smirk, which again is something quite nice. So the articulation is the head will go all the way around, up and down. The arms will go all the way around like so. There's an additional sort of shoulder hinge here, you can see, that comes up and down, so you've got that extra movement. But you've also got this swivel on the bicep. It will flex on the bicep. The hands and the wrists will go all the way around. There's articulation on the fingers up to about the knuckles by the looks of that. And then we've got, if you lift your thumb up, I think that's pretty much like an industry standard sort of grip, but I'm not too sure. That looks a bit smaller actually. So if we move the thumb out of the way, and yep, that will fit in there, and then you can of course clasp your fingers around it. So you've got the small gun there like that. Let's go back to the articulation though. Waist all the way around, completely unrestricted. Ab crunch that's intended to be, that is there at the back. You could, if you wanted to, just say you've got a tiny little angle as well, but that is just, it's not mistransforming it, but it's just sort of lifting it up. That's not really an instruction. So you've got a bit of a tilt, actually, an ab tilt, but there's definitely an ab crunch. If I move these out of the way, you have to move these hip skirts. These can be a little bit of a pain because you don't want to break it. You can take this, once you've knocked it up, lift it out of the way, you can go all the way out to the side. You can hear there's a ratchet in there. This part here as well though is what's attached to it. So these you move yourself, but it does give you pretty much, as you can see, way past the point of a 90-degree move. You've got that there, and you've got this additional whole hinge here, which you can see now moving back into position like so. So the legs are super articulate. You can spin it at the top of the hip as well, knee bend, and again you've got additional movements, but this is all from transformation. This has got a hinge in there and a hinge in there. The legs, sorry, the feet and the ankles again are super articulate, so you can do some crazy poses, which again I'm pretty useless at, and I do admit that. So I'm just letting you guys know that the articulation range is absolutely massive. But the other thing that sort of annoys me, and I do say this a lot with pretty much every company, like mainly third party, you've got the instructions here, and you've got, I suppose, how to combine the weapons there for when he's in the alternate mode, but there's nothing at all about the robot mode. And I've just had a quick look on Show Z, and thankfully it shows that you can do this. Now there's nowhere for this to be held in his hand, but there is a slot here on the top of his shoulder, so you can pop that in there, and then it's like he's got a shoulder cannon, which looks pretty cool. I think, and I imagine that you could, yeah, collect, there you are, you can pop that up as well if you wanted to, turn that around and connect these to it, because that's the same handle as what was in his hand. So you can join all that up. I haven't attached the tire to the back either, but I imagine that that's just as simple as popping this in there, yeah, like that. That wasn't too difficult at all. So I really like that additional feature, as I say, the fact that you can pop that on his, yeah, indeed, obviously you can see on his shoulder. But the strange thing is, and I don't know why, but it's just not in the instructions. So I imagine that you could also do this if we use that as a handle. Can we attach this? I'm imagining that you can. Let me see, where was this attached? So that was attached there. These are all very stiff. So yes, you could do, if you wanted to, you could then pop that into his hand, and I don't know really what you do with that, but of course with the big gun it would look that little bit better. Or we could go that way around, couldn't we? So if we attach this there like so. It would then look, in fact, is there something more we can do with this? I'm not too sure. There may be other things, but as I say, whenever I do my reviews, I don't watch other people's reviews for this particular reason. So sometimes I do miss something, and if I do miss it, guys, do let me know. But I want the review to be as non-biased as possible. I want it to be like, this is my first impressions, this is what I've worked out, and this is what you can do. Because sometimes, you know, things can be a little bit overcomplicated, and you can, again, make reviews last way too long and people sort of lose interest, because there may be a couple of little things that I may miss. But there you go, there's another thing that you can do. I don't really know if you're supposed to, but that's the thing that's impressing me the most, the fact that you can pop that up on the shoulder, and then yes, of course you can. I see no reason why you couldn't attach that and then just have exactly pretty much what we did have on the alternate mode. A bit of a huge cannon there. Whether or not you can store this, it doesn't look that way. I'm not too sure, but it definitely doesn't look that way. As I say, the articulation on him is crazy, and when he's fully combined, he's going to be, I would imagine, something immense. Let me just quickly grab, this is a Kang Toys Predacon, making sure I'm not knocking anything over in case you've seen the outtake video. So nowhere near as big as these, but definitely big enough, and indeed definitely interesting. I just do quickly want to add, even though I didn't do the transformation process, that it does feel particularly flimsy. That's why I've not gone ahead and done it just yet. All of these panels inside here, and if you've seen the legend scale version, it is just an upscaled version, so there's loads of things going on in here with these huge tabs. However, as I always say with pretty much Magic Square figures, although the transformation process is a pain in the bum for me, and although I don't necessarily like to do it, once you get him into their robot mode, there is no arguing or denying that he does look like his appearance in the cartoon. So I'm going to wrap it up there, to be honest. I think these guys are going to be much more impressive when they're fully combined. And regarding that, as I said, because I've been lent this by a channel member, I'm going to send it back to him, and then as soon as we've got the rest of the members, he's going to send me them back. I'm going to have the 5th member, and then of course we're going to do the full combining video as well. So rest assured, even though Brawl is not here now, by the time it comes to the combining video, I will do exactly that. Funnily enough, just as another little Jeep, there is G1 Hound, and funnily enough, just for another, I suppose he's not a combaticon, that is Great Cannon from Battle Gaia. And I think that's pretty much where I'm going to. Actually, one more thing. I know he's not Masterpiece, but he's just in eyesight, and hopefully he's going to stay balancing. There is your Combiner Wars Bruticus. So this guy is up to his waist. So there you go. As I say, I will be doing the fully combined video as and when they're all out. But for now, and again, guys, if I missed anything, let me know, because that's the only way I learn as well. This is Magic Square's 4th, I'm not going to say attempt because that's a harsh word. This is their 4th offering. That's the best word. 4th offering at a Masterpiece scale figure. This is their Munitioner, which is, of course, a Swindle figure. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Take care.